Buenos dias, boa tarde, bonsoir. My name is Erica Ashton, and I am the Festival Director for the Black Consciousness Festival. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the opening ceremony for the Black Consciousness Festival 2021. This year, we are inviting you to shift, to join with amazing people across the world as we explore the many ways we, as people of African descent, grow, cultivate, produce, share, and rebirth elements of ourselves. Through ancestral knowledge, historical legacy, pride, power, and practice, let's celebrate the individual and collective ways we navigate through life. As people of African descent, we know that there is a right way to start whatever we are going to do. And therefore, to open and clear the space for this year's festival, I invite Ms. Janique Dennis, Ifa Yemesi, to do the libation for us. Janique?
Iburi boy Shisha. We begin with our usual salutation. Omi tutu, ori tutu, ile tutu, tutu laroye. Mojiba ludumare, mojiba bobo risha, mojiba bobo egungung. We offer particular praise today and give thanks for all that has happened and all that is happening for this wonderful festival and for all the blessings that come with it, that we continue to connect, network, and empower as a people across the region. We give thanks to Baba Legwa and that he continue to open the doors to Bogboyure for us, open the doors to health, especially at this time, to long life with honor, to prosperity, to honorable children, to success, to love, to happiness. We ask that Ogun clears the path for us, not just this evening, but throughout the festival and ever after as a people, that the roads that our Ori guide us to walk upon, to walk along, will be cleared and we will have easy journeys to our success. We ask for Josie to continuously give us justice and to protect us along with the other warriors, Osun as well. We give thanks, of course, to the Egungun, to the boy Boshishe. You can call the names of your ancestors now. Kinkamashe. And we ask that our ancestors walk with us and work with us, connect with our Ori to help us fulfill our dreams on this plane. We, of course, give praise to Faru Miller as he continues to give us direction and guidance, each individually along our path. Iburiboibo Shishe to all the 4-1. We say Mojuba, Modupwe to Dominant Orisha in the region. We say Mojuba, Modupwe to Oduduwa, Obatala, Oya, Oshun, Aganju, Osain. Usually when in the Pale, you have all the people here who jump in and they call in the Babas and the Iyalorisha name, you know? Yeah, we
Yemanja.
got, yes, Yemanja. And that we walk with the 401 to work with us to continue along this beautiful journey that we have been going. May we forever, as a people, continue to grow from strength to strength in love, peace, health, happiness, and prosperity. Iburu, Iboye, Iboshishe, Ashe,
Ashe.
Ashe,
Ashe.
Ashe.
Ashe. Thank you, Janique, Ifa Yemesi. Thank you, Ashe.
Ashe.
So as we continue with remembering, we remember the indigenous peoples who first inhabited these lands, among them the Taino, Warao, Kalinago, Lokomo, and so many others. We give thanks for them. We give thanks for their guidance and their stewardship of these lands. We give thanks for their presence with us today because they are still here. I acknowledge the board of directors of the Black Consciousness Festival, and it is so exciting to say this, the board of directors. Last year, it was Sean Samad, Heather McIntyre Simon, Nadella Oya, and myself. And this year, we have more people with us. From Brazil, we have Anderson Gonçalves and Jonathan Souza. From the United States of America, we have Ival Grant Williams. And from Trinidad and Tobago, Nadella Oya, Nicholas Ward, Sean Samad, and myself, Erica Ashton. I also acknowledge Lisa Legol Belgrave from Barbados, who has been quietly supporting the work that we have been doing to realize this year's festival. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As you can see, we are fully online again this year. And the technological infrastructure and support are critical to enable us to reach into you and to keep the connections as seamless as we possibly can. We give thanks for technology and for the benefit it presents, allowing us to connect across time and space. I want to acknowledge the Heroes Foundation for partnering with us and providing us with all of the technological support for the festival. You have made it so much easier for us. Thank you to Mr. Lawrence R. June, the CEO of Heroes Foundation, and Mr. Kieran McDowell, the technical lead, the man behind the scenes. We are most appreciative of your support. Thank you. And now we'll have a poetry reading from Mia Henderson. Mia Henderson is a self-proclaimed storyteller from Trinidad and Tobago, using the media of poetry, screenwriting, and playwriting to tell the stories of the Afro-Caribbean diaspora. As a recent graduate of English language and media from the University of Brighton, Mia is an aspiring script editor and producer in scripted television. Mia enjoys cooking, reading, and producing a podcast focused on decolonization. Mia Henderson.
Welcome to the Black Consciousness Festival. My name is Mia Henderson, and I will share a poem with you entitled Nonomiton Knows Best. This poem contains trigger warnings of Black death, the transatlantic slave trade, and Black mental health. So if this is something that is triggering to you, please opt out for mere 2 minutes. Thank you. Yes, sir. No, sir, I'll trade you a couple of coins for him, sir. Now her, ooh, I'll ravage her. A prized possession saves the lashes on me own, sir. Swear I know her. I've seen her branded bandages tossed on barrels ashore, sir. Well, you know, sir, but be careful, sir, for Dahomies are far swifter, smarter, and stronger than ours empires combined. Step back, out, down, sir. Now I am the captain of this here vessel. Our kind were no mere slaves, but enslaved warriors, sold by kin of compromised conscience. I know you're hurting. I feel it too. I too have grown to suppress the shivers till I go limp, thinking numbness a lifestyle, knowing sensation a luxury, feeling sane so long as you keep it moving. But humor me. Seek counsel in your breath. Inhale for 3. Exhale to be aware of clenched jaws, rib cages, and fists of calcified rage. Acknowledge the heat rising in your veins. Embrace the dampness on your bruised cheek, neglecting either is a recipe for disaster, leaving some with singed souls and others rotten cores. So panic not, compose your rage. Take a moment each day to feel where the steam resides in you. Craft new rituals, granting you serenity and stillness, holding space in silence, molding memories in movement. I trust you not to make a martyr of yourself. I trust you to be an instrument of peace. Thank you.
Thank you, Mia. Thank you for sharing your gift with us. Thank you for reminding us to seek counsel in our breath, to be an instrument of peace, not to be a martyr. Blessings. Brazil has been our starting point, and Brazil continues to be with us. And I want to recognize our family in Brazil and thank them for their presence and their ongoing support. Aquataluce, Veloma, Alabi, Negrejo, and so many others we have been privileged to meet and to interact with. It is now my pleasure to invite Anderson Gonçalves to bring greetings from Brazil.
És massa ler, com a bravura que has de ser, uma ler, quando firmas no chão, mas que pés de negro segues na quilha da dor, mas não mais de fenecer, nenhum sonho a menos velarás com a bravura que has de ser, Massalê, és Massalê, porque fazes do olhar um olhar por merecer, uma guerra de flor, uma flor de guerreiro, serás mão do teu Senhor, és teu próprio massapê. Vês, és Massalê. The song is by Tigana Santana, and it's an honor to the Orisha Ogun. My name is Anderson Gonçalves, and I come from Cachoeira, Brazil. I also would like to read the poem by Lívia Natália. This poem is called Poema Ebó, pelo 20 de novembro. Dono das encruzilhadas, morador das soleiras das portas de minha vida, falo alto que sombreia o sol, Exu. Domina as esquinas que dobram meu corpo negro, derrama sobre nós seu epor perfumado, nos banha em sua farofa, sob o alguidar da vida. Defuma nossos caminhos com sua farofa encantada, brinca com nossos inimigos, impede, confunde, cega os olhos que mal nos veem. Exu, menino amado dos orixás, dou-te este poema em oferenda. Ponho no teu assentamento este ebó de palavras. Tu que habitas na porteira de minha vida, seja por mim, seja pelos meus irmãos negros, filhos de tua pele ébano, nós que carregamos no corpo escuro os mistérios de nossas divindades. Tivemos espelhado em nossos cabelos carapina, nos traços fortes de nossa face, na nossa alma azeviche. Mora na porteira de minha vida, Exu, vai na frente, trançando as pernas dos inimigos. Nos olhe de frente e de costas. Seja para nós o que Zumbi foi para Palmares. Nos liberta, Exu, Laroye. Que Exu abra os caminhos para que nós cultivemos espaços sadios como este Festival da Consciência Negra, espaços sadios como este festival que nos fornece força, energia vital para proteger as nossas humanidades diante de todas as amarras, de todas as artimanhas do racismo. Laroye, que os caminhos sejam abertos.
And I feel I should sing Eshu Barak Bo Mojuba. Are, are. Yes, Janique. Eshu Barak Bo Mojuba.
Atamonde koriko eshubarako.
Bo Mojuba, Elekba Eshuna. Obrigada.
I'm missing the drums.
We will get them. Obrigada, Anderson. Obrigada.
That's one of the things about being online. We can't sing together.
We can't sing together.
We can't sing together.
Apart, you know,
yes.
But it will happen. Yes. So, obrigada, Anderson. We will get there. So the 2021 edition of the Black Consciousness Festival promises to be another rich experience. When I look at the range of persons from across the diaspora who accepted the invitation to join us, I am heartened. Actually, I am in awe. I am inspired. It is saying to me and to us, the diaspora is here. The continent of Africa is here. We are here, connecting, reconnecting, growing, shifting, learning on this journey. I know you would have seen our bright, seamless, and engaging graphics on our website and our social media pages. We want to thank Lee Lutchman for this. Lee, you have done another phenomenal project with Shift. Your heart, your vision, your spirit, your support, your energy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We see you, we appreciate you, we love you, we thank you. Joining me now to talk about this year's festival is Mr. Sean Samad, our Content and Communication Director. And I'm like, Sean! We have a festival.
Again.
Good afternoon, everybody.
It is so exciting. I was telling him this morning, I went to sleep. I got up this morning after I did my thing. I checked email. I saw the email talking about the launch. And I clicked on the website and I was like, oh my God. Because between yesterday and today, it was like a whole transformative thing. And I was like, we have a festival again.
Yes.
I don't know how we did it, but I have to say we did it again, as we said last year. Ancestors, Orisha, spirit guides, there.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know. That's what we can say. So we're talking about that, Sean.
Yes, definitely.
And as we talk, I want us to look back a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Because the thought that came to me this morning as well is that this festival did not start last year. The seed for it was planted all those years ago when you started to teach Brazilian culture at the university. So I don't know if you want to start there for us.
Well, I mean, if I have to talk about seeds and where things start, I think it's even further back than that.
Uh-huh.
You know, as a young man growing up in Trinidad and Tobago, Brazil to me was football and the Amazon forest. Full stop. I didn't know anything else about Brazil, and I'd never been exposed to it. I think the seed was first planted the day I decided to study Latin American studies. And there
Right.
was a course I remember called the one course in Latin American studies about Brazil called Brazil the Sleeping Giant.
Ah.
And I took that course, and that I think is where the seed was planted because after hearing about Brazil, something felt to me as if that there was something in me that was in Brazil and something in Brazil that was in me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I then explored further opportunities to actually go to Brazil and study Portuguese and Brazilian culture, and I think that is where it all started. Um,
Right.
because I started to feel as if the first time I went to Brazil, I said, "But these people are like Trinis, or Trinis are like them." I'm not sure. I felt that connection. I felt that similarity. That bonding between myself
Mm-hmm.
and the energy in Brazil and the people of Brazil, and so that's what led me to teach or to seek out to teach Brazilian culture at the University of the West Indies, and it has stayed with me all these years, I think. And
Mm-hmm.
that energy, that connection is what I think really gave birth to the Black Consciousness Festival and continues to make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Continues to make it happen because when you talked about the amazing people around the world and the diaspora who have, decided to join in on the festival, sometimes at the first request or the first ask, they're just like, yeah, no problem. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's because as people of African descent in a variety of places that we are, because of no choice of ours, we
Mm-hmm.
really sincerely, genuinely want to connect with each other. We want
Yes.
to recreate those broken linkages or those linkages that are not as strong as they should be.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is what has been driving and fueling the continuation of this festival, and I'm really happy about that.
Mm-hmm. Great. So, because I remembered when we started last year, and I would say, I'm putting it here,
Mhm.
that this was the creation of you and Heather McIntosh Simon. And if we talk to Heather, Heather would say, no, that was Sean's idea. So, somewhere in there, the co-founders of this festival are Sean and Heather.
Mhm.
And they brought on Adela and myself. And, I was practicing the thing of saying yes to whatever comes. So when they asked me, I said yes. So we
Mhm.
got on board with it.
Yeah.
And we created the magic that was 2020 when we ran the festival for the whole year.
Mhm.
Um, and there was something about that too, because I look back to 2019 when we had been to Brazil.
Mhm.
And also later in the year when you had done a project with the students around remembrance.
Right.
And for me, it's one of the things that really jolted me and struck me around the experience of the African enslaved. Because all the time, you're going through university history classes,
Mhm.
500 years ago, 400 years ago, is that. But somehow in that time, I finally began to connect the dots. It wasn't 5 years we were talking about. I
Right.
always talk about that. It's 400 years.
Mhm.
And therefore, what does that mean for us as a people of African descent, Because I think in my own journey, I was part of those who was like, get over it. That thing in the past had happened before. And then you realize, no, no,
Not really.
we can't get over it like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean,
We
you
have
can't
to have the conversations.
to undo 400 years. It can't happen in 4 minutes or 4 hours. Definitely not. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And part of it then is having the conversations, talking about the trauma, not being stuck there, looking back to the history before that, but recognizing it's important to go through that, to go through that process for a healing.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And as you say that, I read something today actually, that it struck me. Some of these things strike me, and because they're so obvious, and yet we miss them, or we don't see them for some strange reason. And it was actually an account by a Portuguese trader, who in the early, probably between the 1300s and the 1400s, had gone to eat to West Africa for the first time. And it was an account of what he saw. And he landed at the city of Benin in 1691. Sorry, not the 1300s, 1691. And this is what he said. And I'm translating roughly because it's in Portuguese, obviously. He said, "The great city of Benin, where the king lives, is bigger than Lisbon. All the streets are so long as the eye can see. The houses are huge, especially that of the king. They are richly adorned and have beautiful columns. The city is rich and industrial. It is very well governed, and there exists no crime, and the people, sorry, live with lots of security, so much so that they have no doors to their houses." And that is the kind of information, that is the kind of legacy that we need as people of African descent to learn about and to respect, and to come to understand that our history did not start in 1492 when the Europeans landed in the Americas, right? There is a great history before that, that still resides in us and that we can still tap into as necessary.
That's so important. And as you talk about it, the houses had no doors. I think about how we view houses without doors in the West. That's a sign of poverty or something. Whereas in another part of the West, and that is part of shifting that we're talking about, changing the narrative, shifting, seeing with different eyes. Yeah. So what's happening this year? Let's talk about that in terms of shift.
Well, this year, we do really have an exciting lineup of conversations every day between today and next week, Sunday. And the conversations tend to run in the evenings from around 5 p.m. to 9. There's some days where it shifts a little bit when we try to accommodate people outside of our time zone. And that's also the other thing. When we're talking about connecting with people of African descent across the world, it's across time zones. I don't want to use it, it was not a nightmare, but it was a Herculean task to balance time zones and people in conversations, and yeah. But thank goodness for things like Google that help us. But yes, so we have conversations every day, a wide variety of topics. I mean, from transformative Afrocentric governance to art in the Portuguese-speaking world, art in the English-speaking world. We have an artist from Ethiopia who's doing Afrofuturistic art. We're going to talk about a wide range of things, and all the information is on our website that people can find about who's participating in these conversations and what the conversations are about, the times, etc. There's no need to look for a link to sign in to view our conversations, because they're always going to be broadcasted, at least on Facebook, and sometimes Facebook and YouTube. Outside of the great conversations, we have 6 workshops. The first one starting tomorrow, which is an African folk tales workshop for children ages 5 to 9. Yeah. And then we have a workshop on African drumming, and then we have a workshop on Kemetic yoga, Afro-Peruvian dance, playing the Peruvian cajon, and something called the Call of the Grandmothers, which is using the cajon and singing and music to kind of channel and connect with our ancestors. And the last thing to wrap up the festival on Sunday the 21st is going to be a celebration of one of our esteemed authors here in Trinidad and Tobago, Earl Lovelace, his book Salt, which was written in 1996. So we're celebrating 25 years of that phenomenal work, and we're going to have, several people weighing in on why the work is important and how it impacted on their life. So yeah.
Awesome.
I think it's exciting because to me, it's, we're getting the Spanish, we're getting further into South America. I remember a friend was telling me the other day that they had no African people in Argentina and Chile and those places. So I'm happy to show them that we are there because that's one of the things we hear.
Mhm.
And we buy into that we're not in Mexico or Central America and places and we're everywhere.
Exactly.
So it was so rich to be able to see and have them engage in the conversations.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And Mr. Lovelace has a special place in my heart. So I am so excited for that conversation and for that recognition of who he is because he's a giant in our space.
Mhm.
And part of that recognition is I want to remind people because I'm thinking of two enriching conversations we had in preparation, the one with Mr. Lovelace and also the one with Dr. Merle Hodge. Talking with them is literally stretching your brain. You really can't get away with not thinking.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they have a ton of experience.
Have a ton of experience, and there's a way in which they see the world that I am still trying to understand. So I keep digging. So it is a phenomenal experience to talk with them and to share and to break bread, as we would say. And part of that too, I want to encourage people. If you have elders around you, go talk with them. They have such a rich lived experience that Dr. Hodge talks about as social history that we need to know, we need to tap into. So go talk to them, go document, go here, go comb their hair, watch their feet, just go listen. You will not regret it. So, Sean, any closing remarks as we wrap up? One of the things we have to do is we talk about our ancestors, but we didn't call their names, Sean, so we need to.
Mm.
Parents, grandparents, because we have to walk the talk, so we need to.
Well, one of the first ancestors that we need to call on is the ancestor who inspired in some way this whole day in Brazil, right? On the 20th of
Yes.
November is the ancestor Zumbi dos Palmares, who was the leader of, one of the largest settlements of freed Africans in northeastern Brazil. And it was because of, trying to honor his passing, which was not at all, pleasant, in 2011 that the law was passed to make the 20th of November Black Consciousness Day in Brazil. And he is important because he is a symbol of the fight and struggle and resistance against slavery and all the injustices that go along with it in the Brazilian space. So we honor him definitely as an
So we
ancestor.
call his name Zumbi.
In terms of other ancestors, I call on my grandmother, Shirley Agito Eiffel, my grandfather, Selby Eiffel.
Kinkamashe. Kinkamashe.
I call my parents Aubrey and Vera Ashton.
Kinkamashe.
My mother's mother, Brownie Edwards. Her father, James Friday.
Kinkamashe.
My father's mother, Ivy Ashton Harper.
Kinkamashe.
And his father, Darrell Thomas. And my grandmother's mother, Alma Ashton.
Kinkamashe.
We
Wow.
recognize them. Yeah, it's important. I'm getting all chills as I do it because it is not something we do or I do out loud.
It's also something that we got to be really proud of because there are a lot of us who don't have that many generations back that we can name. So it's something
Yeah.
that we really have to take pride of. And they say when someone who has passed is not called again, they die twice.
Wow.
So we have
Yeah.
to keep calling, keep talking, tell the children, tell the family members, keep their memories alive, tell them what they used to like to eat, what they used to like to do, what they were like as people, and keep their energies with us. It's important.
Well, I thought we were only doing one generation. That's why I called two names. But then Erica
So
called a
you can
list.
go back because I decided, Sean, I'm going back as far as I know
As
because I
far as
still
we
have
know.
some digging to do.
Well, I have started
And
it again. So yeah,
yes, yeah. So you could call the others.
I would definitely want to call William Aguitor, Norma
King
Parker,
Kamashi. King Kamashi.
um, George Aguitor,
King Kamashi.
Emily
King
Williams,
Kamashi.
Gertrude Andrews.
King Kamashi.
There's so many,
So many.
and of course, all of the women who went before me in the Fulani and Yoruba maternal line that I'm proud to carry.
King Kamashi.
Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Anderson, before we close off, anyone you want to call?
Yes.
Yeah, representing Brazil, you know.
Yes.
I would like to call my grandmother, Joselina Bezerra.
King
I
Kamashi.
would like to call my grandfather, Pedro Gonçalves.
King Kamashi.
I would also like to call Roque Bezerra, my uncle who died in Angola.
King
And I
Kamashi.
would like to call my grandfather, Henrique Gonçalves. And I would like to call my grandfather, who was a priest of Candomblé himself.
King Kamashi.
Ashe,
What's the name?
Ashe,
What's the name of the
Ashe.
great grandfather?
And so, what's your great grandfather's name? Who was the priest?
In Candomblé.
Um, I forgot.
It is the names we need. Find the name. The next time we meet, I want the name.
Mhm.
Homework. Homework,
Yes.
Anderson.
Names are important because,
They
you know,
really are.
and I think back how many of our ancestors, we don't know their names because they were erased, their names were never called. So we have a responsibility to say the names,
Yeah.
call their names when we can. So thank you.
Yeah, give thanks.
Thank
Janique
you. Give
Dennis called
thanks.
three names.
Yeah, I'm gonna call the names. You all are gonna say King Kamashi for me.
Okay, no problem.
King Kamashi.
Okay.
Yes.
King Kamashi. Alberta Belgrave.
King Kamashi.
George Anu.
King Kamashi.
Henry Anu.
King
King Kamashi.
Adam Melanie Thomas.
King
King Kamashi.
Eureka Baker.
King Kamashi.
Whew, there's so many bakers. Michael Baker. No, no, wrong one. Big Boy Baker.
King Kamashi.
Yeah, there are a lot of bakers. So I'll just say the baker, those bakers who have passed. King
King
Kamashi.
Kamashi.
Oswald Johnson.
King
King
Kamashi.
Kamashi. Cheryl Johnson.
King Kamashi.
Who are forgetting that I'm going to get cussed for later, boy.
And say all those who have passed.
Bogboegun.
Dennis.
Bogboegun, who have passed. Like we give thanks for their energies and their presence and yeah, that they continue to walk with us and to help us along our path. Mojiba Modupwe, Bogbo, Egungun.
Ashe. Ashe. Ashe.
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
We actually touch the back of the neck with water when we're doing libation for the
Uh-huh.
egun because the
For
egun
the
reside, yeah, the egun reside right there. So they're
great
constantly with us. When you see the hairs on the back of your neck stand up,
is
yeah,
because they hear.
somebody telling you something. Somebody telling you something. Pay
So we have
attention.
to remember to listen.
Good to know.
Yeah, egun. Give
So
thanks.
I think so Sean, thank you. I know we're going to talk some more. So Janique, I know we're talking that in the next conversation that we have at 7.
Yes, fire.
So Sean, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And thank you
And
to
Sean, I
all.
have to say thank you in a special way. I know this is not easy in terms of all of the work that goes into it. And Sean is a gem. I really love Sean. I have to say that. I like Sean and I love Sean and I love working with him. And we rub each other sometimes, you know, of course, if that would go. But, you know, It is just a pleasure to be with Sean and to do this work, Sean. So, Sean, I want to thank you. And especially, I want to thank your mom, Maria, and I want to thank Bernard too
Yes.
for birthing you and giving you to us. But it's a real pleasure, and I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for the honor of doing this work with you. I appreciate it,
Thank you, Erica.
and I love you plenty. So we have some more thank yous to do. So thank you, Sean. I want to thank the group of young volunteers we have working with us this year. Journey Cunningham, Journey, Celissa Cruz, Shawnee Richards, Patricia Gordon, Janae Stedman, Karen, David, Michael Alexander. We thank them for their time and their work, and I hope they found it a fulfilling experience. I'm also thanking Nicholas Ward. Nicholas is on the board with us, and Nicholas took on the the work of curating some youth-focused conversation. And doing this even as he just got a job and started to work, right? So we know the challenge that could be, but Nicholas took it on and he got it done. So thank you, Nicholas. Thank you for your energy and your heart. We all know our website is important to keep everyone up to date and to ensure that we have access and control over what we generate. So I want to thank Alex Cricri for updating the website. Thank you, Alex. And Christian Duff for doing the video that you will see at the start of our conversations, and you would have seen it at the start of today's gathering. And to close off our opening ceremony, we have Ruth Osman, the beautiful Ruth Osman. Ruth is family. Ruth is generous, kind, magical, growing, taking up space and being who she is.
Gifted.
Last year, she gave us the song See Them Come and performed it along with Terence Shaw and Baba Onilu at the opening. She gifted us this song and continues to remind us that we can use it whenever we want to around the festival. We are grateful for this. Here she is, Ruth Osman, singer, songwriter, flautist, poet, thinker, creator. Ruth Osman.
Ruth Osman here. I am so happy to be able to share these few moments with you as we begin the Black Consciousness Festival. The first piece I'll be doing is from my album Elemental, and it's called Come With Me. You dream. Come with me where been tripping on the line. I've been wasting precious time. You know how it gets to you when you fall flat on your face. God, I wish I could erase some things I said and things I've done. Then I see you walking by and to look into your eyes. Don't try, you can't hide the truth. I know you wanted to, you want the same thing that I do. To be loved, to let love flow through you. We don't need fear where we're going. Hate, let it die, yeah. Love's a river and it's flowing. Fame, let it die, yeah. We don't need it where we're going. Well, you've got to lay it down here. Love's a river and it's flowing through you. Can you feel love flow through you? But never away. My second piece is a poem and it's called The Center. Here we stand, palm to palm, a spider's web spanning oceans. Our threads anchored to brutal histories, buoyed by renegade winds. Along the arc of our intentions, fugitive futures bloom. Tight buds, tethered to loam, nurtured by hands grown craggy with toil, grind with the soil of our aspirations. Here is the center. In the fellowship of trees, dancing to the wind's laugh way, here is the center. Where feet drum earth and rum flows to the gods of marinage, here is the center. Where old stories gather flesh and come alive as we blow on their bones, here is the center. The black hole that pulls us in and through to new horizons, blue with promise. Here is the center. Here is the center. Here is the center. I went away looking for another home. I tried to run away from my destiny. In another world, a world that was strange to me, I tried to change myself, change my identity. But strong is the power of love, the power of freedom, the power of blackness fills my heart, yeah. I forward to stay. Strong is the power of love, the power of freedom, the power of blackness fills my heart, yeah. I forward to stay. I went away, I leave and I forward home. I forward to stay, I must see my way. I went away, I leave and I forward home. I forward to stay, I must see my way. I went away through clouds and through falling mists, multinational galaxies floating in inflated bliss. Through timeless loops, distractions, and harmonies, and people like counter melodies, some with double-agent strategies. But strong is the power of love, the power of freedom, the power of blackness fills my heart, yeah. A forward to stay. Strong is the power of love, the power of freedom, the power of blackness fills my heart, yeah. A forward to stay. I went away and leaving a forward home, a forward to stay. I must see my way. I went away and leaving a forward home, a forward to stay. Must see my way. I must see my way. That was a song by the great Andre Tanker, Trinidad singer, composer, and musician. We give thanks.
Oh,
I know.
yes. I feel like she heard the theme for tonight's discussion.
You
I
understand?
feel like she heard the theme for tonight's discussion.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for tonight.
she
Yes.
was in that conversation.
So thank you, Ruth. Thank you, Ruth. Thank you for sharing your beautiful, luminous voice and gifts with us. Thank you. We are always appreciative. And to all of you, thank you for joining us for this opening ceremony. We thank everyone who will be part of the conversations and workshops this week. And we thank all of you who will be joining and sharing your energy with us. Our first conversation is in 7 minutes' time at 7 p.m. And we will be talking on the gifts of African spiritual traditions. It promises to be a very exciting conversation. So join us on YouTube and Facebook Live. And in the meantime, continue to walk in pride, power, and the practice. Thank you so much.